This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Soibifa Jackridge. The United States will impose sanctions on over 500 targets on Friday, in action marking the second anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Deputy U.S. Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo said in an interview on Thursday. The action, taken in partnership with other countries, will target Russia's military-industrial complex and companies in third countries that facilitates Russia's access to foods it wants, Adeyemo said, as Washington seeks to hold Russia to account over the war and the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The package will be the last of thousands of sanctions targeting Moscow announced by the United States and its allies following Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, which has killed tens of thousands and destroyed cities. The new penalties come as the US and its allies look to maintain pressure to Russia despite doubts over whether the US Congress will approve additional security assistance for Kyiv. President Joe Biden administration, who has exhausted money previously approved for Ukraine, and a request for additional funds is languishing in the Republican-controlled House of Representatives. The Treasury Department in December said Russia's economy had been hit by the sanctions, contracting by 2.1% in 2022. Russia's economy is over 5% smaller than had been predicted per Rachel Lingas, the chief sanction economist, said on Treasury websites. Still, Russia's economy has performed above expectations, with the International Monetary Fund in January forecasting 2.6% GDP growth for 2024, a 1.5 percentage points upgrade from an October estimate after solid 3.0 growth in 2023. Thousands of protesting Indian farmers facing off with security forces have come under the protection of the Nihang Ski, a warrior sect dating back to 1600s, distinguished by their ink blue robes and ancient weapons such as swords and spears. The farmers, who are also mainly Ski and who hail from the northern state of Punjab, are demanding higher prices for their crops and began marching to the capital Delhi earlier this month to press their demands to the government. Police, however, have stopped the march about 200 kilometers, that is 125 miles, from the capital, using water cannons and tear gas to disrupt the demonstration. On Wednesday, the farmers said they would stop their protest for 2 days after one of the demonstrators died. Police officers confirmed the man died at a protest site but added the cause of his death would only be determined by an autopsy. As they waited for the march to resume, the Nihang warriors honed their skills by practicing fencing, horseback riding, and meditating, easily distinguishable by their flowing robes and marching to bands. Several Nihangs say they joined the march to protect the farmers. Indian minority skill community makes for more than half of Punjab's 30 million population, and the Nihangs took part in a similar year-long farmers protest in 2021. During the 2021 march, 3 Nihangs were arrested in connection with the murder of a ski man at one of the protest sites, who they accused of desecrating ski holy texts, according to local media reports. The Nihangs did not denied the allegations, maintaining that the man had committed sacrilege by attacking their holy book, the media reports added. Most British household energy bills will fall from April after regulator Ofgem cut its domestic price cap by 12.3% to its lowest level in more than 2 years. The drop, prompted by lower wholesale energy prices, will provide some respite for households struggling to contend with the cost of living crisis, while also helping to help curb inflation. Ofgem's new cap of £1,690, that is $2,139.37 a year for average use of electricity and gas, is down £238 from the previous cap of £1,928. This will see energy prices reach their lowest level since Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Ofgem said that while the drop is good news for consumers, there are still challenges in the energy market, with a record £3.1 billion in unpaid bills. The watchdog has allowed suppliers to include within the cap a temporary charge equivalent to £28 a year to help them to cover consumer bad debts. Campaign group National Energy Action said that 6 million households would remain in fuel poverty despite the reduced price cap. Fuel poverty is defined as being unable to afford to heat homes to temperatures needed to stay warm and healthy. In a separate announcement, the government said it would gather views on how standard energy deals can be made more flexible to enable customers to pay less if using electricity when prices are lower, adding that £10 million is available to help companies test new technology and tariffs. About 29 million customers are on standard rate tariffs covered by the price cap, which was introduced in 2019 to protect consumers. Switzerland is still in love with banknotes and coins, a survey by the central bank showed on Friday. Despite the growth of mobile payment apps and predictions of a cashless society, cash remains the most widely acceptable payment method for customers facing businesses such as shops and restaurants ahead of payment via apps like Google Pay. Around 92% of companies which operate face-to-face business in Switzerland accept cash, while just 59% accept payment via apps. The study found. The findings of the Swiss National Bank's survey contrasts with the experience of countries like Sweden, which have become increasingly cashless. Still, mobile apps are becoming more popular, with the acceptance level from 40% in 2021, and they are now accepted than credit and debit cards in Switzerland. For Swiss companies that deals with clients remotely, such as online or by email or telephone, bank transfers are the most popular way to accept payments, followed by invoices, then cash, the study found. The availability and acceptance of physical money has become a political theme in Switzerland, where banknotes have traditionally been popular, even for big purchases like cars. Campaigners have raised concerns about younger and older people being marginalized because they lack access to payment apps or cards, while the number of banks and cash machines is declining. Two referendums on the topic of acceptance of cash under Switzerland's tradition of direct democracy are currently in various stages after collecting nearly 200,000 signatures. The head of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund (PIF) on Thursday pitched the kingdom as a prospective hub for artificial intelligence activity outside the United States, citing its energy resources and funding capacity. Rumayyan said Saudi Arabia, the world's biggest oil producer, also had the political will to make AI projects happen and ample funds it could deploy to nurture the technology's development. His comments signal that data centers may be a core part of Riyadh's strategy to capitalize on booming demands for generative AI technology, which requires vast amounts of processing power. AI technology uses clusters of thousands of chips in massive data centers to train algorithms to complete tasks. Tech companies' electricity costs have spiked as they compete to build increasingly sophisticated AI models and roll out generative products to billions of users. Rumayyan said PIF was allocating more than 70% of the funds to projects and investment inside Saudi Arabia, and was targeting an international allocation of 20% to 25%. Moving forward, above 40% of the funds' international investments were in the United States, he said. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Friday.